Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping right into expanding your English vocabulary.
That's right.
Our goal isn't just throwing words at you, but giving you smart, engaging ways to get more articulate.
Yeah, to express yourself better. More confidence, more precision.
Exactly, boosting that ability.
And we do have a pretty ambitious target today, looking at strategies for, well, maybe around 3,000 essential English words.
Wow, 3,000. That sounds like a lot.
It does sound like a mountain, but don't worry, we're going to break it down. Manageable chunks, interesting bits.
Okay, good.
Our mission really is for you to leave this deep dive with actual techniques you can use, for work, study, or just understanding things better.
Okay, let's talk about actually learning them then. We've all been there, staring at lists, trying to cram. It's boring, right? And often doesn't work.
It really doesn't. Not long term.
So what are the smart ways, the methods that actually make new words stick?
Right. So forget that old rote memorization. It's just not how our brains like to learn. What the science shows is we need strategies that work with our memory. And right at the top, that's flashcards with spaced repetition.
Ah, spaced repetition. I've heard of that. Why is it so good? Can you, break that down a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, it uses something called the forgetting curve. We naturally forget stuff over time, right?
Right, sadly. Yeah.
Spaced repetition gets you to review a word just before you're about to forget it. Each time you remember, the gap gets longer.
Ah, okay. So it interrupts the forgetting process.
Exactly. It strengthens the memory each time.
Oh.
And there are apps that do this automatically. Anki, Quizlet, they handle the scheduling.
Smart. So it takes the guesswork out of when to review. You ditch the brute force, use smart timing instead.
Precisely. Much more efficient.
Okay, makes total sense. What else? What other clever ways can we build up our word bank?
Well, next up is something surprisingly powerful and often quite fun. Mnemonics.
Memory tricks, right.
Exactly. Little memory aids. You connect a new, difficult word to something easier to remember. Could be an image, a rhyme, an association.
Okay, I'm interested. Give me an example. How does that work in practice?
Okay, let's take the word ambiguous. Means unclear, multiple interpretations.
Yeah.
A mnemonic could be like this. Picture some tiny people looking up at something huge and vague asking, ambiguous.
Slight chuckle.
Ambiguous.
Yeah. It's silly, right? But that weird, funny image, it connects the sound ambiguous to the idea of something unclear or confusingly large. It helps it stick.
Huh. Okay, I can see that. Ambiguous. That's actually quite memorable because it's ridiculous.
That's often the key. The stranger, the better sometimes.
All right, so we have smart flashcards, funny memory hooks. What's another big piece of the puzzle?
The next really crucial thing is contextual learning.
Meaning?
Meaning you learn words not just from lists, but how they're actually used. In sentences, in stories, articles, conversations.
Ah, okay. So seeing them in the wild, so to speak. Exactly. Yeah. When you see a word used naturally, you get its feel, its nuances, how it connects to other words.
Yeah.
It's much deeper than just a definition.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you wouldn't learn to use a hammer just by reading about it. You'd want to see someone actually build something with it.
Perfect analogy. You see it in action.
Right.
And let's try that right now. A quick interactive bit for everyone listening. Here's the word, procrastinate.
Okay. Procrastinate.
Can you repeat that? Procrastinate.
Procrastinate.
Right. It means, to put something off, delay it.
We've all been there.
Absolutely. So maybe think of a time you did that. You can even say it out loud now, like, I procrastinated and now I'm cramming, or whatever fits your situation.
Pause for a listener. Okay, yeah. I'm sure everyone has a story for that one. Definitely relatable.
It is.
So we've covered how to learn. Let's shift gears a bit. You mentioned grouping words thematically. How does that help us?
Ah, yes, thematic groups. This taps into our brain's love for patterns. It's just easier to remember things that are connected,
Right, like sorting things into categories.
Exactly. You create these mental links. When you learn words related to, say, emotions, they all cluster together in your mind. It makes recall easier in those situations.
Okay, let's explore that. What's our first theme?
Let's start with emotions and personality. A huge area. Think about words like ecstatic.
Super happy.
Right, extremely happy. Or melancholic.
Feeling down, sad.
A deep kind of sadness, yeah. And maybe gregarious.
Someone who's sociable likes being around people.
Exactly. Very outgoing.
Okay, ecstatic, melancholic, gregarious, nice range. How might these pop up in a normal chat?
Sure. Imagine someone asks, why is Sarah so reserved today?
Reserved, meaning quiet, holding back.
Yeah. And the reply could be, oh, she's feeling a bit melancholic. Her cat's not well.
Hmm. Okay. So reserved describes the outward behavior, and melancholic explains the feeling behind it. Using them together gives a clearer picture.
Precisely. Adds
Well,
that nuance.
good example. What's our next theme?
Let's look at the workplace and success. Very practical for many people.
Def-
Think about words like delegate.
Assigning a task to someone else.
Yep. And trusting responsibility. Or innovative.
Creative, new ideas, better ways of doing things.
Exactly. And tenacious.
Someone who doesn't give up easily. Persistent. Resolute.
That's it. Really sticks with something.
Okay. Delegate. Innovative, tenacious. Yeah, I can see how those would be useful professionally.
Yeah,
You had a tip for using one.
I did. For delegate,
Yeah.
try to actively use it. Maybe in your next meeting, if appropriate, you could actually say, okay, to hit this deadline, I think I need to delegate the report formatting.
Right. So consciously practice it in a real situation.
Yeah. It makes it active learning, not just passive.
I like that. Integrate it, don't just memorize it. And you had a challenge for us too, related to this theme.
I do. We want you to get involved. Think about someone you know who is really tenacious. Maybe leave a comment below this deep dive. Tell us briefly why they're tenacious. Tag them if you can.
Great idea. Share those stories of tenacity. Okay, so we've got learning techniques, thematic groups. Now, you mentioned something that sounds maybe a bit academic. Root words and etymology. Why bother with word origins?
But it's like a superpower for vocabulary. Seriously. Understanding the basic building blocks, those common Latin and Greek roots, prefixes, suffixes, it lets you unlock the meaning of tons of words you've never even seen before.
Really? How does that work?
It's super efficient. Think of it like learning a code. Once you know a root meaning, you see it everywhere.
Okay, give me an example. A key root.
Let's take bio. Most people know it means life, right?
Yeah, from biology.
Exactly. So biology is the study of life. A biography is someone's life story. Symbiosis is different organisms living together. That core idea of life is in all of them.
Ah, I see. So knowing bio helps you guess the meaning of related words. It multiplies your knowledge.
Absolutely. It's a huge multiplier.
Cool. What's another useful root?
How about port? It means to carry.
Okay, carry.
So transport is to carry across. Import is to carry into a country. Something portable is easy to carry.
Transport, import, portable.
Yeah, the carry idea is clear in all of them. Okay, this is actually really helpful, almost like a cheat sheet.
It kind of is. And sometimes the origins are just fascinating, like the word disaster.
Disaster. What's the story there?
It comes from Greek. Disaster literally means bad star.
No way. Like blaming astrology.
Pretty much. Ancient people thought catastrophes were caused by unlucky stars. Knowing that kind of quirky origin can make a word stick in your head, too.
Wow. Bad star. That's brilliant. I won't forget that. Okay, let's test this root thing. You had a quiz for us.
I do. Quick question. What does audible mean? Hint. The root odd means hear.
Okay, odd means hear. Audible. Able to be heard.
Exactly.
Yes.
Able to be heard. See? The root gives you a massive clue.
Yeah, that works. Okay, so this root approach is powerful. Now, we've learned strategies, we've got categories, roots. How do we actually start using these words confidently? Moving from just knowing them to, like, saying them.
Yeah.
That's the crucial step, isn't it?
Yeah.
From passive knowledge to active use. And one really good way and a fun way is through little interactive games. Makes practice feel less like homework.
Games are always good. What have you got?
Okay, first one. Guess the word. I'll describe something. You guess the word. Ready?
Ready?
Okay. I'm describing someone who absolutely loves books, collects them, reads them all the time, starts with B.
Loves books. Starts with B. Bibliophile.
Got it. Bibliophile. Perfect. Okay, next game. Fill in the blank.
All right.
Here's the sentence. After running the marathon, he was completely, meaning extremely hungry, and ate 3 burgers. What word fits?
Extremely hungry.
Yeah.
Ravenous.
Yes, he was ravenous, exactly. Okay, let's quickly look at how some words might just show up in everyday chat. Some real-life dialogue.
Okay, let's see them in context.
Imagine you're out for a meal. The waiter might say, "Our culinary specials tonight are quite exquisite."
Culinary. Related to cooking. Exquisite. Meaning really good, finely made.
Right. And you might reply, I think I'll have the chicken salad. I'm trying to be more health conscious these days.
Yeah, health conscious. Makes sense. So yeah, words like culinary, exquisite, health conscious, they can fit right into a normal restaurant conversation.
Exactly. They're not just for essays or formal speeches. They add richness anywhere.
Good point. Okay, this has been super helpful. Loads of strategies. Before we wrap up, though, Are there common mistakes people make when trying to use new vocabulary? Pitfalls to avoid?
Oh, definitely. Knowing these can save you some awkwardness and boost your confidence. A big one is using overly complex words just for the sake of it.
Trying too hard to sound smart.
Exactly. Sometimes people choose a really fancy, obscure word when a simpler one would be much clearer and, frankly, better.
Yeah, I've seen that. Got an example.
Sure. Instead of saying something convoluted like, I utilize my cellular device to interface with her,
Models interface.
right, just say, I use my phone to call her. It's clear, direct, and much more natural. Clarity is usually king.
Good advice. Simple and effective often wins. What's another common trap?
Another one is mispronouncing words. It happens to everyone, but it can sometimes cause confusion or make you feel a bit unsure about using the word again.
Yeah, that can be tricky. Are there any classic examples of commonly mispronounced words?
One that often trips people up is epitome.
Ah, yes. How should it be said?
People often say epi, T-O-H, me, stressing the second syllable, but it's actually epitome, stress on the third syllable. Epitome.
Could be to me. Got it. Good one to know. So if we're unsure about pronunciation, what's a good way to check?
There's a brilliant website called youglish.com. It's free.
Youglish.
Yeah, youglish.com. You type in a word, and it finds you YouTube videos where native speakers are actually saying that word.
Oh, wow. So you hear it in real context from different people.
Exactly. Loads of examples. It's fantastic for catching the right pronunciation and even the intonation. Really useful tool.
That sounds incredibly helpful. I'm definitely checking that out. Okay, wow. We have covered a lot in this deep dive. Let's recap. What are the main takeaways?
I think the biggest thing is seeing vocabulary building as an active, engaging process,
Right.
not a chore.
Right.
Use smart strategies,
Yeah.
spaced repetition, those fun mnemonics, learning words in context. Don't just stare at lists.
Wow.
Grouping words by theme helps, and understanding those basic root words, that's a massive accelerator.
Yeah, the root words were a real eye-opener.
And finally, just be mindful of those common pitfalls. Don't use fancy words, just kais, and pay a little attention to pronunciation. It all helps you communicate better.
Brilliant summary. Okay, time for homework. We want everyone listening to actually do something with this.
Yes, let's make it practical. 2 things for you this week. First, pick maybe 10 new words you liked from today's discussion. Really try to use each one at least once this week in conversation, in email, whatever.
Okay, 10 words, use them. Got it.
Second, come join our community. We've got a Discord server set up. You can share how you're doing with the 10 words, ask questions, chat with other learners. Plus, we'll put some free word lists there related to today's themes.
Great. Where do people find the link?
The link will be right there in the description for this deep dive. Click it, join us. We'd love to see you there.
Fantastic. And just a little teaser for next time. We're tackling slang and idioms.
Ooh, that'll be a fun one.
It definitely will be. Don't miss it.
Ooh, so remember, everyone, words are your tools. Use them wisely.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive today. And just a final thought to leave you with. Think about how language itself is always moving, always changing. Learning vocabulary isn't just about memorizing static definitions. It's about plugging into this living, breathing thing that reflects culture and how we connect. Keep exploring it. Until next time.